The Glico Company was started in Japan in 1922 by Riichi Izaki and started with just one product, caramel. After all their facilities were destroyed during World War II, Izaki revived the company with new products like Pretz and Pocky. Glico is now a global brand, and today it offers one of its fine confections to compete against two other snacks, the Tipo Cheese Wafer and the Bing Bing Cone. The attempt will be to satisfy the palates of our discerning judges. And we're headed east right now on You Tried Dat. You Tried Dat. I'm Nick Nowak, my pals Chad Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Hello.
All right, guys, a quick question for you. I haven't kept up with Terminator lore. All right. But why the fuck did they design an old looking Terminator?
the old Arnold Terminator?
Are you talking which movie are you talking about?
Well, I mean, he ages in each one, right? But I think it's far more noticeable in the most latest, where he's just clearly a very old man.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they try to explain that away in it? Like because in the latest one, that's the one where they brought back like the original Sarah Connor actress and stuff, right? And pretended the other sequels didn't exist.
Yeah, right.
And like, wasn't it like he'd been there for a while and then like his skin just aged and like tits started sagging and all that stuff? Like just because it's a real human skin.
They had a lot of exposition about his sagging tits. That was a big plot point.
I wear a B cup now. I remember he had that line.
We have to get back in time before his tits degrade. They're like running.
Did you just watch this recently? Is that?
No, I didn't. I saw a poster or like, I think it was offered on one of the streaming services. And so I saw the picture of it. And Arnold looking 70, and all I could think was, why is that part of the design?
I don't know why I keep watching these Terminator movies. Like, they're all pretty bad since T2. You know,
you gotta see how low his tits sag. That's why you keep watching.
It's a perfect airplane movie. Like, I think I saw the last one on an airplane. Like, they're dumb. You don't have to worry about, like, listening or paying attention.
I just like Arnold. I don't know.
Now and again. Yeah.
I'll watch pretty much anything Arnold's in. I don't know why.
I don't know why. All right, Chad. So I hope your daughter said something to you about Terminator.
Well, you talked about like why is he old, and that is sort of like related to what my daughter said. So, just for context, there. You know, my daughter goes to preschool. She's almost 4 years old. There's like 20 or 30 other kids in her preschool. And just as background for the story, there is like they all use the bathroom together. You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's only so many teachers. Mm-hmm. There's just a big open bathroom. And like before lunch, they all go to the bathroom, like boys and girls, whatever.
Right.
No big deal. Now we've talked in the past, like you guys had like closed door policies when it comes to like taking a piss with your family and stuff. Was that even true with your kids when your kids were like little kids? Like, did your little kids ever watch you go to the bathroom when they were like toddlers?
Not when they were like, by the time they're walking, no, the door's going to be closed. I can do it quick. Like, there's no reason for it not, right? I can be in and out really quick.
There's probably a few times where maybe there was a bath. You know, sometimes you go to those restaurants and it's just the one single bathroom with the toilet in the middle that you have to like lock behind you. And so like I probably have peed in front of Jake a few times because I had to take him in there or whatever. But other than that, no, if I can close the door, I do.
All right. Well, I peed in front of my kids a ton of times. They see me do it. No big deal. But anyways, so I was peeing the other piece of context for the story. There is a kid in my daughter's class, a 3-year-old boy named Orion. Okay, so just remember that. Anyways, so I'm standing there taking a piss. My daughter just comes running over from the kitchen, runs in, and she stands there and she takes one look at my crotch area and she says, "Daddy, why is your vagina wrinkly?" I was like, well, those are my testicles, not my vagina.
That's an insult in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
and then I
She's
said,
a legend.
And so then I said, like, well, that's just how they look. And then she says, but Orions aren't like that. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm supposed to compete against this 3-year-old's ball sack.
His are nice and taut. What the fuck?
Yeah. His has not sagged to the ground from the ravages of time like an old Terminator man's tits. The way mine have. Then I didn't know what to say to that. I was just like, good for Orion. I mean, I think I just said like everybody's looks different or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't...
Did you confront Orion next time you saw him? You think you're hot shit, huh?
I'm gonna wrinkle those balls for you. That's what I said.
This kid has a nice life ahead of him. He's got perfect balls. His name is fucking Orion. Sounds like a Greek god of the constellations. So fucking Orion is a power name.
He's got the smoothest balls in San Francisco.
Well, is it like we should probably stop talking about this kid's balls. Is it like Orion, like the constellation, or is it like the Irish, like apostrophe Ryan? Because that's less cool.
Like the constellation.
Okay. Orion McGillicuddy or something.
His first name is of Ryan.
It's shameless Orion and his nice tight balls.
So that's some stuff we should not be talking about, right? But Geiger, you've recently found some other words we shouldn't talk about.
No, Vic, that's just impressive. I gotta hand it to you right there. You're just stitching these together like Dr. Frankenstein over there.
Stitching them together like the doctor stitched Chad's wrinkly balls back up after his operation.
Like that extra stitch they put in Chad's vagina.
Yeah, that vasectomy doctor did comment on how I have the wrinkliest balls he's ever seen. He's like, your balls are way wrinklier than this 3-year-old I gave a vasectomy to last week.
I don't even know where to make the incision. He's just like piling through all, like he's like going through the jungle. No, so I was talking to a coworker this week, and we were talking about, she was asking for advice on how to write this email, and she had left she had not put enough detail in it. So I just said, well, we got to convey all this stuff. Why don't you flesh that out a little bit? And she was like, ew, no. She just kept saying that on the phone. I'm like, what? Because I hate that word, flesh. I'm like, well, all right. I was laughing. And now that I know that, I've used it like 6 more times in conversations with her. But
so she's not a zombie then, I guess.
She does. She hates flesh. Yeah. And so it got us talking about words we don't like, and she brought up the one that I think everyone always says they hate, is like the word moist is commonly referred to as something that people hate talking about. And then it also, I did not bring this one up, but in talking with you guys beforehand, I was going to say here on this podcast that I am like the most vulgar human on earth. I would probably say, well, you guys could tell me. I'm probably maybe the most, wouldn't be surprised to see if I was the most vulgar person you guys know. I like in terms of like swearing and saying dirty shit, but like even I won't say the "see you next Tuesday" word. Like even I that's a no-go for me, because I know how bad that one is. So is there words that you guys find like repulsive or like repellent, or like you won't go there?
I never had a problem with moist. I don't know. Okay. I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, all right, buddy.
Or flesh. I enjoy both the word flesh and the pleasures of the flesh.
How about the taste of flesh?
Yeah, it can be all right.
You're a zombie.
I don't get I don't get the moist one at all.
Me neither.
Because it's just like it's a word used to describe used to describe cake or like a dampness of something, but I've never in my life did I think to describe a wrinkly vagina as moist, right? So
Daddy, why is your vagina so moist?
Okay. When you say it in that context, I understand why it's gross.
I don't get what is upsetting about it. Like, to me, it was confusing when that started.
Well, I don't get any of it because I don't find any word that just perturbing other than "see you next Tuesday." Is there a different one that you guys don't like?
Well, even "see you next Tuesday," isn't that used in England, in a different,
yes.
Just a less insulting type of way, like calling someone who's a jerk or stupid.
It's not a big deal.
Right. Yeah, so we should just use it all the time now. If they can, it's good enough for England, right?
Right. If you say it in a British accent, you're cool then.
I'll see you on the schedule next Tuesday.
Mhm.
I will
accent.
thank you. I don't know why I said on the schedule either, because that screws up the acronym. But there are words I don't like because they get used in like business jargon. Like I can't stand certain like businessy shitty words, like
Right.
remit. What's someone's remit, or like all that kind of stuff. Or
What
like
the fuck is that?
remit means like your responsibility. So if
I've never heard
like
that one.
my boss uses it constantly, and now he has me saying it because it's just lodged in my brain. So like if your team is responsible for coding something, that's your team's remit. That's your team's like purpose and reason for being, kind of thing. There's all kinds of like
a dirty word.
No, I'm just saying I don't like the word. It annoys me. I'm not saying
okay.
it has to be disgusting.
I don't know why, but I really hate when people. I think I knew someone. This is someone I had dated a long time ago who used to say "no worries" constantly, like 20 times a day. Say "no worries," and now I can't fucking stand when people say "no worries." I don't know why. It really bothers me, and I hate living the dream. Don't ever fucking say "living the dream" to me. It's really fucking obnoxious.
Is that because you don't dream, or because you're not living?
No,
Are you
I
a
am
zombie?
a saggy-titted cyborg for the future. No dreams.
You don't even want it in like an ironic sense or something like.
That's the only way it's used, right? No one actually
Right.
like who's doing well. It's like I'm living the dream here, in sunny California. No, it's like it's on a Monday morning, like when they just spilled their coffee on themselves or something.
Living the dream, or I'll get asked a lot. Are you living the dream right now? And I'll say I'm living a dream.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant more like, because I will say it if someone's like one of my friends is like, I just got like a cheeseburger, then I'll be like, oh, living the dream, because like
okay.
you are living the dream.
That's fine.
The only time I had it acceptable is that I had a coworker whose last name was Levin, and they used to say I'm Levin in the dream, and I thought that was acceptable.
I hate when people say, and this is not like one that you would hear in the corporate world, hopefully, but like when people say like, oh, that's hella, like that's hella cool, or that's like,
that's all over California.
Hate that
that's
word.
All over California.
I just think that makes you sound like the biggest fucking moron when someone says that's hella cool.
The new one that I'm just finding out, I was informed by my wife, and then we watched some show where people were saying it a lot, was I'm feeling some kind of way.
Oh
yeah,
sure.
That's one.
Feeling some type of way, something like that.
Yeah.
I also feel like slang is one of those things, like if it's getting to me, like what you just did, like, oh, I just learned today that some kind of way is a thing. It probably is not a thing anymore.
No,
it's like,
that's 10 years ago.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Anyway.
Snacks. Now that we fucking old man yelled at Cloud.
You know what I hate?
I hate when people say things I don't understand. All right, we've got 3 snacks to rate them on a 5-point scale. I love dat, like dat, indifferent to dat, dislike dat, and hate dat. Let's start with the Tipo Cheese Wafer, because this thing looks fucking nasty. I mean, it's not in the look. It actually looks exactly like when you get those like vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry wafers. That's like a few thin wafers with cream in the middle, except it is cheese.
I think it's like handy snack style cheese in the middle or something.
This is the strongest fake cheddar smell I have ever had. Like,
oh, that is pungent. A pungent odor.
This would have Monterey Jack from the Rescue Rangers floating across several continents to get to the cheese.
Where'd you get these snacks from, Chad?
It's a Korean grocery store near us called H Mart.
No, they have those by us too.
So the texture is exactly like one of those wafers. Does it taste all that cheesy to you?
No, the flavor is a lot milder than the smell.
Does it also taste kind of sweet? Maybe the wafer is like sugary still?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Sweet cheese, kind of like a weird thing. You guys ever just take Parmesan and sugar and just mix it around and just eat it by the spoonful?
Yeah, this is weird. It's the smell is bad. The smell smells like, I thought this was going to be like super sharp cheese tasting.
It's the smell.
It is. Take this Tipo Cheese Wafer. I know it's not real, but I don't care. A quote from the movie no one has ever said. Famous quote. I don't. So the smell's bad, but then it also doesn't. It's not indicative of the actual flavor, which doesn't really even taste like cheese, like you said, Novak. It almost tastes like just generically sweet somehow, and I don't get it. It's the same consistency as these wafer things. That the consistency's fine. I don't like the flavor. This is a dislike that. I don't think this is good at all.
All right, dislike to start, Chad.
I think I'm right there in line with you with that. Like, actually, based on the smell, I was expecting to hate it. So the fact that I don't is kind of a win in a way for Tipo Inc. Or whoever, whatever the company is that makes this thing. Yeah, I don't know. You have these wafers, and they should have like a sweet cream inside. They shouldn't have this like cheese. The combination just doesn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe with like a different cheese or like a less sweet wafer, it might be okay. Like then it would just be like a grilled cheese sandwich kind of. I guess I just rather eat a grilled cheese sandwich is what it boils down to. So yeah, I'm gonna give it dislike that also.
I think if anything, you're both being too kind to this. It's really, the smell isn't great. I think if it tasted like cheese, it would have been better. Mm-hmm. But like Geiger said, it's just oddly sweet. I took a few bites, set it down, and looked over at it again, and almost felt nauseous. Like, it's really disgusting. I'm going to give this a hate that.
Nice.
So a really awful start. Let's go to the old Bing Bing cone. The very funny, whimsical ice cream cone man on the front.
Who is shouting, "Cone snack!"
I mean, he's not wrong. It is a
No,
cone.
it is. He's got it.
The company is Happy or Happy, Hapi. And when you open it, it's a very long cone shape, thin, and then at the top there's a very tiny bit of chocolate sticking out. If I received an ice cream with this like a discrepancy of cone to ice cream, I'd be pretty upset.
I mean, I think there's chocolate all the way down the cone.
Sure.
But I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, this is like when you've had a big ice cream cone and you get halfway down the cone and you're just like sucking the rest of it out of it. This is what's remaining.
So yeah, there's chocolate all the way through, I bet. But off both ends.
Does the chocolate taste like chocolate?
Not to me.
What is that? What other snacks have that same kind of wafery? I'm trying to think of what this way. I mean, I guess it almost is the same as like an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
That you get from Dairy Queen or something.
Yeah. Do you guys like? I prefer dish over cone. I don't even like the taste of an ice cream. A waffle cone's fine, but I don't really like this flavor of ice cream cone.
Oh, I always get a cake cone.
I think that is one of the signs that I have noticed of myself that I am becoming an old man, is that I almost never want the cone anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's too messy and like whatever.
Yeah.
It gives a shit about the flavor. I'm here for the ice cream.
Now the waffle cone in the dish, that's fine, right?
Yeah, even that I don't want. I just want like if you have just the ice cream, you can just hork it down faster, you know?
Yeah.
And actually now it's like when we go to the ice cream shop, I get milkshakes like probably 2/3 of the time.
That's a good call.
Because that's even easier to eat. So I
Yeah.
can suck it up through a straw. That's how I want to consume all my foods within the next 10 to 15 years. It's just blended and in a straw.
Easier.
All right, so Chad, you're starting us off. What do you think?
Eating this makes me very glad that I did not give a hate dat to the cheese wafer, because then I wouldn't like have anything to compare it to. I took one bite of this thing. I don't want to take any more. That chocolate is fucking vile. It is nasty. And I don't know if it's the aftertaste that is the grossest part. I actually think it's not. I think it's like a little better on the aftertaste, but while you're actually chewing it, I don't know. This consistency, it's like weirdly hard. It doesn't taste like chocolate. I'm not sure what it tastes like, but it's really gross. And then the cone itself is just like so stale tasting. I think this is vile. This is an easy hate dat.
Wow. I'd eat 10 of these before I'd eat one of those.
Unbelievable.
Cheese crackers. The cone is stale tasting, but that's like I think that's how cake cones taste. They just have that stale kind of taste, and I don't mind it. The chocolate's not good. We'll not pretend that it is good chocolate.
Good.
I'm going to, guys.
I don't mind the consistency and the flavor. To me, it's just very plain. I'm going to give this an indifferent to dat.
Wow.
Geiger, where are you going to fall? Are you drinking a Coors Light? What are you drinking?
No, I am drinking an Old Nation New Orthodox India Pale Ale, low orbit.
Wow.
I'm so fucking bougie over here.
How is it?
Great. It's going to taste great with those mint sticks in a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good. I got to be honest, Chad, I'm a little surprised. Well, I shouldn't be. This is kind of on brand for you, but I like how vehemently you hate this thing. It's fine.
It's on brand of me to dislike nasty stuff.
No, to like you are probably the one, like, when you hate something, I'm most confused. Like, how can you hate it? Like, it's not good, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, to be that, like, angry about it. I could tell the when you were eating it, the way you're grimacing, I'm like, he's going to hate this thing. But, like, it's just innocuous. Let's go over it. The cone sucks. I agree with that. We all agree it's stale, doesn't taste great. Chocolate doesn't taste like chocolate, right? It just tastes like sugary filling. However, it just tastes like generic candy. It's not like I can eat it. Like, so I am probably, it's a low level indifferent for me too. I don't think it's like good. I don't think it's good, but I also don't think it's like, I'd eat this, like Novak said, I'd eat this 1,000 times over that weird cheese wafer.
Wow. All right. That's fucked.
Cone snack.
Good start to the F though. 2 real winners.
Cone snack's in the lead. But I do think the Pejoy, which is coming later, looks promising. So hopefully it will deliver. Segment time.
All right. So we're gonna do trying out a brand new segment this week.
Oh, boy.
This is a totally original idea, unlike anything that we have ever done on this podcast. Which is where
whoever has the tightest balls, we have to do this over the video.
I'm going to read some things I found on the internet, and you guys will comment on them. So
it's called You Comment on Dat.
we have talked in the past numerous times about some of the weird things that you see on the social media site Nextdoor. Right. And those can sometimes range from the thinly veiled racism to full-blown racism.
And everywhere in between.
Sometimes there's, just weird stuff, NIMBYism, all kinds of great things. So what I've done today is I pulled some of the best of Nextdoor from some various websites. And we're going to go through these, and then you guys will have to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 houses how far away you want to live from this person.
I like that. All right.
Okay. Okay. So we got 8 of these, so we'll go through. All right. This first one, this is from someone named Sarah, and she says, in all caps, "Stop feeding crows bagels." She says, "They aren't eating the bagels you are giving them. They are stashing them in my trees, and it's raining bagels at my house."
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
So, Novak, we'll start with you here. What do you think?
That's a very specific snack for a very specific bird. It's not like, stop feeding the birds, right?
Right.
Stop feeding the crows bagels.
Stop feeding this ostrich pastrami.
Yeah. How about a bialy? What do you think that would be? Is that all right?
But start feeding the penguins cone snacks. You can do that.
I have a feeling that it's not just crows putting bagels in this woman's tree, right? There has to be other reasons why this woman's tree is full of bagels.
Like it's a bagel tree, for example.
Yeah.
They grow there naturally.
That's probably it. Yeah.
This is strange, but I'm going on the first one you read theory.
The escalation theory. It's just gonna get worse from here.
That I think I'll feel comfortable about 3 houses down from them.
Okay. And, that's short enough that you could walk over and grab a couple bagels if you were feeling hungry one morning.
Okay, so for me, first of all, this whole thing seems like a setup to get me to say bagel a lot, which I'm already dreading.
I didn't even think about that, but boy.
Bagel! All right.
All 8 of these news stories are about bagels.
Stop feeding Gagger bagel lines. He's stuffing them in the tree. I'll be honest, when you said that, all I heard was free bagels at this lady's house. That sounds so bad. I mean,
would assume got crow spit all over them. But,
yeah. Well, I assume this is also torn up bagels. It's not like a whole bagel that's falling on the tree, like with cream cheese on it.
Just a whole intact cinnamon raisin. Some nice locks.
I don't know. I guess her complaint doesn't seem all that, like, I kind of am with her. Like, if I had that tree and there was, like, just fucking food falling all over the sidewalk, that also probably attracts a ton of, like, dogs and animals and other birds flying. Like, I wouldn't want that either. I would actually ask, like, to stop doing that. So I'd live next door to that lady. That sounds like a reasonable... Well, I'd live 2 houses down because I also don't want to be near the bagel tree. But I don't think it's because of her. I think it's because of the situation.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like this actually happened in our neighborhood. There was like somebody going around and just like they would dump an entire bag of birdseed on the sidewalk, like at this one spot.
Yeah, that's
every
fucking
day.
Terrible.
And then and then the houses across the street, like the pigeons and seagulls and shit would just come and they'd roost on those houses and then and then shit all over the houses' roofs. And so those people had to they put signs up like, stop putting birdseed. There's shit all over our roof. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. This is from Leroy. He says he is upset with my neighbor's Wi-Fi name. Hi, all. Now, we all use devices to connect to the internet and whatnot, and my grandkids come over and use their phones and iPads too. Well, the other day, my grandson went to connect to the Wi-Fi, and our neighbor's router name is, quote, in all caps, all cops are buttholes. And now my wife and I are very upset because he started crying, and we had to explain to them that, indeed, all cops are not buttholes, etc. And it's just generally a rude thing to broadcast. Is there any way I could possibly block this signal, or possibly call the non-emergency police and have them go over and give them a stern warning? I bet they wouldn't like to hear about a network named All Cops Are Buttholes. Any ideas, guys?
Wow.
All right.
Geiger, thoughts?
I don't know too much about cops, but I know the one thing to make a family really fall in love with cops is sick a cop on them about their fucking Wi-Fi name. That's really going to change their opinion. Fucking Officer Friendly shows up angry about the Wi-Fi name. Look, they had the decency to say butthole instead of asshole and not expose it.
Exactly.
We just talked about how vulgar they were.
Right. Or instead of bastard, which is the actual saying, a cab is actually all cops are bastards.
Oh, I have never even heard that.
The fact that they went buttholes is pretty nice of them. Yeah,
look, setting aside the obvious, Blue Lives Matter tint to this whole fucking thing, I have nothing wrong with respecting policemen in their appropriate measure, but I don't see how that, this person sounds very old. Obviously, they have grandkids. We know that. B, they don't know how the internet works. You can't hide someone's Wi-Fi name. No, I don't want that Wi-Fi here. Please take that away. And C, the fact that they think the way to solve this problem is to get the cops involved is probably not great thinking. So I actually probably want to live 8 houses away from this person. Mm-hmm. That person sounds like a real pain in the dick.
Yeah. No, Beck, what do you think?
Leroy's crazy.
God damn it, Leroy.
I think they use buttholes, which is very benign.
Yeah.
And the kid is not crying because he thinks cops are buttholes.
That's correct.
He's crying because he's stuck all day at his shitty grandparents' house. I want to live 1 house away and name my Wi-Fi the worst possible thing I can. So I'm going 1 house away.
See you next butthole. Name it.
Moist, fleshy butthole.
We have most of the Wi-Fi names in our neighborhood are just Belican 500 or something, like the name of the router, or else like maybe their address or something. But then there was one in our neighborhood that was just called Child Octopus. And I was like, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll catch a weird one on the train or something. Like you'll get someone else's phone thing and it'll be like Dildo Dungeon or something. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
I mean, it almost never comes up. You hook up something one time to Wi-Fi and then you never have to fucking do it again.
It took that guy longer to write that post than to just connect to a different Wi-Fi.
Child octopus on the internet one time, and then the cops show up at your house.
Suddenly, all these butthole cops are.
You Google child octopus once, and all of a sudden, Chris Hansen's at your door, and he's like, "Why were you bringing these ink coolers to the ocean?" Doesn't make sense.
That's awesome.
All right, here we go. This next one is called Possible Cult Activity at Nixon Library. Okay. And this one includes a picture that someone took, like a stalkery kind of photo from the distance of a person sitting at a computer, and they're looking at something on the computer. During the entirety of my library visit, which was about an hour, I watched this man stare at photos of Gary Busey and print them off. I can confirm, looking at the picture of this guy, he is looking at pictures of Gary Busey.
I would bet a non-inconsiderable sum that it was Gary Busey.
Yeah. Maybe Jake Busey.
So then it says, I do not know what his agenda is, but I have a feeling it could be cult or Illuminati related. Good night.
Okay.
No
yeah.
So I'm deciding to live away from the guy printing Busey or the guy who seems worried about printing Busey.
Both?
Yeah. I guess you could give a rating for both if you want.
Okay. It's you shouldn't be that worried because it seems harmless, but on the other hand, it's a harmless activity. But on the other hand, you should be very worried because what the fuck? I'm really curious as the explanation. So I think I'm fine 2 houses away from the person who's worried because it's a worrisome activity. And then I think a good 8 houses away from the Busey printer.
Okay.
Was it Chubby Checker that was printing out the Gary Busey photos? Known lizard man, Chubby Checker.
He is involved in the Illuminati. That
yeah, we know that. Look, I guess my only problem with the concerned over Gary Busey citizen is that, like, how is posting on Nextdoor going to help? Like, no one's going to do anything with that. They're going to go, oh, that's kind of weird, and then move on with their day of posting, like, racist or cops or buttholes problems. Mm-hmm. So, like, this is one where they should call the cops if they're really that concerned. Like, hey, I think Gary Busey's life might be in danger, not because of the staggering amount of drugs he's doing at one given time, or the fact that his brain seems half fried, but because this one person was printing out a couple photos of him at a public library. Like, who knows? This could have been like a college kid doing like a thesis on Gary Busey.
Science fair project.
How is Gary Busey standing? I made this volcano explode with strands of Gary Busey's hair. So I think I don't mind living next to a fan of Gary Busey. Well, I do. I have 5 houses away from the Gary Busey fan. Mm-hmm. I guess I do agree with Novak. I will probably live maybe a couple houses down from the Gary Busey stalker observer, but I would just recommend that, like, they do something about it other than post to me, because I don't give a fuck.
I'm surprised when I put this one in here. I did not think you guys were going to be taking the side of the person who thinks looking at Gary Busey is Illuminati related.
No, I
Okay,
don't believe that.
that's a good point too.
I picture. You know what the word that got me was staring. It said staring at the photos,
Okay, so I can confirm from looking
and they were
at
there
this,
for an hour. An hour.
That's true.
Well, the printer takes a while.
This person is not a college student working on a thesis, and it is not
You sure?
Gary Busey.
Okay.
It appears to be from the back a 50-ish bald African American man with like the physique of like an old wrestler.
Maybe it's Danny Glover. You want?
All right, great. The next one is from Dimitri, and it is called "Lobster for Sale," $50.
Good deal.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And this one has a picture accompanying it of a super cute Labrador Retriever with puppy dog eyes, and next to it is a lobster that is literally the size of the Labrador Retriever. So here's the post: "Selling my lobster, Goose. I love him dearly. However, it is time he found a new friend. Great with kids and pets. My dog is a little nervous around him, but with proper training, I'm sure your dog will love him just as much as I hope you will. He gets fussy when he isn't taken for a walk. He mainly eats small fish. However, I have found that he loves a small piece of orange after dinner as dessert. He hates any music by Johnny Cash. If you play it, he will destroy anything around him."
Is that the end of it?
That's the end.
This lobster's taste is fucked.
Geiger, how close do you want to live to lobster, man?
So, it's great with kids? Like, how does a lobster emote around children? I guess I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, it won't snap their fingers off? Is that what he's basically saying?
It has not pinched any of my children yet.
So when you say this thing is the size of a Labrador Retriever, so like a 50-pound dog?
I mean, maybe it's a perspective. Maybe it's a perspective thing, but this is like one of the biggest lobsters I've ever seen.
It's for $50, right?
Yeah, $50.
So I looked up what's the biggest lobster on record.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 50. It's 44 pounds and about 3 feet long.
Oh, so
Okay.
like $1 a pound. That's a great deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm happy about that. I am buying this lobster and I am eating like a king the very next day. I'm gonna play Johnny Cash as I fucking slowly lower that thing into a roiling boil. Because that's a really good deal for lobster. I don't.
Yeah,
it's weird. I mean, I guess it's no weirder than any other pet you could have. This person
it's
is
a little
definitely
weirder than a pet you could have. Yeah, I think
Well,
it's weirder
I'm
than
just saying-
having a pet rabbit.
You can have a pet, whatever, but you're assigning way too many cuddly traits to this fucking lobster. This lobster does not give a fuck about your kids. Let's be very clear.
Right.
Your dog is nervous around it, yet you're posing it next to pictures of it. So you don't really care about your dog either. And for the sound of it, this thing could break the dog's legs. So I'm going to buy it, take it out of that home, and eat the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love lobster.
But how many houses are you living away from?
Next door. I don't want to walk that far. Yeah, drop it off on my front porch. The crows can have it.
Are the claws like rubber band up like they are when you get a lobster at the restaurant or store?
Actually, this lobster does not have claws.
Oh, never mind then.
Is this a lobster? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
If there wasn't a lobster tail on it, I would think it was a giant fucking spider. But I think
What
there are
the
some
fuck?
lobster breeds that don't have claws.
Do they dress like a cat up with a lobster tail and pretending it's a huge lobster?
Yeah.
I mean, you can still get the tail. The tail's good, right? It's not
Yeah.
just
Alright.
a claw, but
And the brains are good.
I have no interest in living next to this mutant lobster. Fucking 50 pounds, right? And he's living near me.
What do you think it's going to do? Break down your front door?
I don't know. Scare the shit out of me if some 50-pound lobster walking down the street.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. I am going across the street if I ever see a guy walking a lobster down the sidewalk. I am crossing the street.
Yeah. To me, that's nuts. I would like the lobster. And plus, I don't know, if I have a little dog, you might have to be careful. This guy doesn't trust his own dog around this lobster.
Yeah.
So I'd be wondering about my own pets. So I need this guy a good, I'm going to go 8 again, another 8 houses away.
Okay. On to the next one. I think we're about halfway done here. So this one is called Sweet Child of Mine Constantly Playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a house on the corner that has been blaring Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses on repeat for the last 3 days. I knocked on the door, but no answer, and the mail is piling up, newspapers piling up, so I have the feeling they're out of town and maybe left Sweet Child playing and forgot to turn it off. My cop friend says they can't do anything without probable cause, except write a noise violation if it's after 10 and stick it on the door. It wouldn't be so bad if it was at least the album Appetite for Destruction on repeat, but after 3 days, the opening riff of Sweet Child gets really repetitive. The solo is great, though. Even after 3 days, I get into the solo, but then it starts again, and that riff is just, so repetitive. Novak, what do you think?
Oh, okay. A question: did they type "Sweet Child of Mine" or "Sweet Child O Mine," which is the name of the song?
They typed "of." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some disrespect. I don't know.
Maybe it's a remix.
So, look, there's a lot of problems here.
Yep.
Any song, "Sweet Child of Mine" is a decent song, right?
Sure.
I have no problems with that song.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, but you could ruin any song. There's no song you want to listen to on repeat for 3 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and I don't think I'm going to enjoy the riff still 3 days later, as this guy does. No, I think it's a big problem. I think this is one you legit, like, the police do something about it, right?
Yeah.
They say
They're
nothing
too busy
can be
being
done.
buttholes, though, so they can't.
Right, exactly. So on this one, I'm going to say, I'm trying to think about how far I could still hear it. I think I'm going to need to be about 6 houses away before my window's shut. I would be able to probably not hear that music.
Okay. Geiger, what do you think?
Yeah, that's tough. I guess my first assumption was that maybe they were dead inside. Like, but because I don't know even if you were playing it, like what, you're saying, they left it on. What device would just play the same song over and over again? It's not like, unless it's like your alarm.
No such thing's been invented.
Yeah. Right, never. I don't
There's
think
no
so.
way to repeat music. Yeah, that's true.
Well, but wouldn't you have to program it?
Once you've heard a song, that's it until the day you die.
Okay, you have an iPod shuffle list that has one song in it? What the fucking, like,
sure.
Okay.
It's a fucking repeat.
All right, iPod shuffle's even a thing? I don't
Anything did that. My fucking 1994 Sony Walkman had a repeat button on it.
My 50-pound lobster was so sick of Johnny Cash, you turned on Sweet Child of Mine for an hour and a half. Much like the Sweet Child Orion, Sweet Child O' Mine is a lovely song, but I would be sick of any, like, you could give me my favorite song and I'd be fucking sick of it after hearing it for 3 days. And I also can't imagine the volume it's at. If you can hear it next door, like, think about it, like my house to my neighbors. If I hear a song from them, it's got to be fucking cranked in there. So that's why either they're dead or they're doing like meth in there or something. Uh-huh. So I don't know why the cops. The dead don't care how loud music is, baby.
With his dying breath, he set "Sweet Child of Mine" on repeat.
As he was about to die in repose on his bed, Siri, Alexa, play "Sweet Child of Mine" at full volume and on repeat.
He's like crawling across the room, bleeding out, and he only has enough energy to either hit the repeat button or dial 911. And he's like, "Well, the choice is obvious." Wait, so how many houses did you say?
Yeah, I don't want to live. I want to live 10 houses away from that. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Are we doing the next to the house?
Sweet Child of Mine one, yeah.
Yeah, 10 houses away. I want to be as far away from that as possible. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah. There was a radio station out here. This is maybe like 8-9 years ago, and they decided to switch formats. So they were like, I don't know, classic rock or something, and they decided to become a hip hop station, and they changed their like call sign to like Hot 98 or something like that. And so to announce it for the whole weekend, like starting Friday morning until Sunday night, they played Nelly's Hot in Here on continuous repeat. with like no commercials, no breaks, nothing like that. And like we had just happened to flip past and we're like, why is this song playing over and over? Like we didn't know why. It just kept playing over and over again. And I remember I had it on in my house, just like listening to it, like, okay, this has got to stop sometime. And I let it go for like 45 minutes before finally I had to shut it off.
Wow.
And then like I went on the internet, I was like, oh, it's a publicity stunt.
Greg, you remember that station out here that they changed their call sign to SCOM and they just played Sweet Child of Mine nonstop?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Welcome to the scum.
She's got smile innocence.
Okay, here we go. This next one is titled Maggie's Chicken Bears, $25.
What?
Says, Maggie is selling chicken teddy bears. Chickens have plenty of extra parts. I can make 2 bears. $25 if you supply your own chicken. $35 if I supply the chicken. Edible and can be cooked. All caps, great family activity. And then it says, can also make clothes.
Out of the chicken?
I don't know. And then this one just has a picture of a chicken carcass attached to it.
What?
Wait, hold on. So what extra, she's taking like the gizzards and making it into like a bear's ears and stuff? Or like, I don't understand what the premise is.
I think so. It's not clear. Or maybe like the chicken legs become teddy bear legs. I don't know.
$25?
Yeah, $25 if you supply your own chicken. $35 if they have to supply it. So I guess the chicken costs $10.
This is fucking P.T. Barnum of all time. I'm going to convince somebody to buy a chicken, pay me $25 to rearrange the pieces, and then they're going to eat it anyway.
P.T. Barnum?
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft. We'll accept money or pictures of Gary Busey.
Geiger, I think you're up for this one.
Well, fuck.
How close do you want to live to the chicken teddy bear sweatshop?
I still don't understand what I'm paying for. I'm buying a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving her $25 to cut the chicken apart, rearrange the pieces, and give it back to me to eat? Is she cooking the chicken for me?
No, you have to cook it yourself. But I mean, you seem to be forgetting this is a great family activity.
What's the family activity?
You forgot that line.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Fucking Paddington chicken. What the fuck? I don't understand. I'm dumbfounded. I have no idea. Like, so the whole reason this, like, I'm wondering now, like, if she's actually advertising this, like, have people paid her for this? I could see Gary Busey doing this for Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah. Could she make me a like Teddy Ruxpin style one?
Yeah,
that I play that sings "Sweet Child of Mine."
A Teddy Turducken. Can you do that? Sweet Child, the mouth just. I want to live 30 houses from this fucking freak. I don't want to be 10. This is a 10 out of 10. That's. It's not only. This woman sounds insane, or I don't know if you said it was a woman or not, but this person
Maggie,
sounds insane. Yeah. Maggie, right? Okay. It's like insulting to your intelligence. Like, this is the least effort put into a hustle that have ever heard in my entire life.
Look, I disagree a little bit. Not everybody has the same skill set.
Right? Uh-huh. Or a skill set at all.
Takes all kinds.
That's right. Look, everyone's got to make a buck, right? We know that.
Yeah.
Not everyone can go, down to the local tech company and get a job, or go become a butthole patrol, like walk on the streets. So some people,
not everybody can sell their lobsters to make a living.
Some people got to use the skills they got, and this person's only got bronze level hillbilly skill. So, so I'm okay. I think 3 houses away will do.
3 houses from that fucking nut job.
Oh. My concern would be, because it's a great family activity. So, like, I'd get one of these, cook with my daughter, and then she'd be asking me why my cloaca is so wrinkly. All right, on to the next one. I think we got 3 left or so. All right, here we go. So this is Marjorie. She says, weird printing. This is not quite a, quote, suspicious incident. I just now heard my printer running mysteriously by itself, and it turned out to be printing unstoppably many sheets of, quote, erotica, i.e. soft porn. Oh. Looks like it is aimed at males. I am an older woman living alone, so I can just dump it, but it would be pretty bad if this came into a house with children. I don't seem to be able to interrupt the printing. To add insult to injury, of course.
Unplug your fucking printer.
Old people don't know shit about anything.
To add insult to injury, of course, it is using a lot of ink to print these images. Has anyone else had this happen, and do you know who to report it to? Thank you. What do you think about Marjorie here?
Not a family activity, right? Not gonna... But it's
an activity that might help you make a family.
One person's trash is another man's treasure, right? Mm-hmm. So Marjorie, she's got excess porn, and I'm in need.
Pay it forward.
It'd be like the Robin Hood of porn here. Spread it around.
I can shape these misshapen porn pictures into a chicken.
So, look, I think one house is plenty because she seems like a nice old lady, right? And I might actually be able to help her out by walking over and pulling the plug out the wall.
See, Novak, you could get a job at a tech company. Yeah. You're all set. Let me fix this problem. Doink.
So I'm going to 1.
All right, Geiger.
All right. Well, someone clearly connected their printer to her Wi-Fi, which was cops or buttholes.
And then proceeded to print a bunch of women wearing cops outfits buttholes.
With their buttholes. She went to copsor buttholes.com. Yeah, I was just trying to think of, like, could that even... Like, this sounds like an awful... Like, she doesn't mention having a husband. Or like a boyfriend or something, because this sounds an awful lot like I don't know where this is coming from, but just keep shooting out the printer. It's so weird. My grandson suspiciously left the day before it started printing. I don't. All of his socks were crusty. Like I don't like, because there's like
her husband. Let me file. I'll take those, honey. I'll get rid of them. Don't worry. I'll find out who's doing this.
Look, there's no way to stop the printer. We're just gonna have to let them all print out.
We got no choice but to hang them up all over the walls, honey. I'm sorry.
It's evidence.
I know it's using a lot of ink. I'll go get more ink from the store. Hold on. Because I don't there's no way to send this to someone's printer that I'm aware of. Maybe there is. I don't know. But I think this little old lady is just dumb about technology, but not necessarily a bad person. And I mean, wait a day and you can go through her trash and get a bunch of free softcore male focused porn. So yeah, why not?
All right, great. Two left. Here, let's go. All right, so this one says, letting my 12-year-old drink. Says, hi all, my son has my son has recently been asking if he can have wine with us at dinner. He's very mature for his age. He says his friends' parents let them drink and says they've even given him beer sometimes when he goes over for supper.
What?
He's not circumcised, if that helps.
Right.
Geiger?
Is that well, look, I gotta be honest, guys. I was about to have a huge problem with this. But then I found out that his dick remained uncut, and I'm like, load that fucker up with booze.
Got all that extra skin to absorb the alcohol. He won't get drunk as fast.
Again, how dumb is this fucking parent? Like, oh, my friend lets me pound a 40-pack in his house. Mom, what the fuck, you bitch? Go find my printer. Yeah, no, I don't want to live next to this guy or his parents' friends who are feeding him beer at dinner at their house. Right. So I don't want to live next to this dingbat. She's going to be a bad influence on my kids. I'm going to say 9 houses.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually going to be my first 10. Mm-hmm. These are the worst.
Wow,
people.
you don't like uncut kids, huh?
Look, I have no problem with the drinking. Look.
You circumcise those penises.
Daddy, why does your vagina have so much foreskin?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, far away 10.
All right, great. Last one. Here we go. This is from Matt. It says, you farted in the grocery store yesterday.
He's not wrong.
You were the thick brunette with the furry boots that farted in the bread section last night.
Not the bread.
It absorbs it like a sponge. I was the ginger with the dad bod next to you who asked, was that you? You quickly responded, no, it wasn't me, and seemed annoyed that I asked.
No shit.
What a gentleman.
As the stink grew and permeated my mask, you continued to you continued to deny it, but it was totally you. I tried to get this is gonna be hard to finish. I tried to get rid of the stink.
Walk away.
I tried to get rid of the stink by waving 2 loaves of Italian bread. You stormed off with an attitude. You are beautiful, and even if you are a liar and fart like a man, it's almost Valentine's Day, so I'd love to meet up. Okay, Novak.
All right, we're living away from the
the guy that likes farts or whatever, waves bread around in a store.
Oh. Yeah. He seems like an okay. But he's ginger, so 10 houses.
I do appreciate the fact that he added so many corroborating details when really the only detail he needed for this woman to remember him is I was the asshole who accused you of farting at a grocery store. Remember I was doing like waving a plane in with 2 Italian loaves of bread while you were just huffing sick gas out your jeans. I have no problem living next. Actually, this guy sounds fucking hilarious. I'll live next door to this guy. I'll have one house. I don't give a shit.
All right, great. That's it.
All right. Good old nosyneighbor.com. I love that site. All right. We've got one snack. It's the Glico, which is a company I spoke about in the intro. And they make Pocky and things like that. This is the Pejoy or Pejoy. It's Pejoy. It's mint cream-filled cocoa biscuit stick.
I didn't realize this was the same company that makes Pocky when I got them, actually. They are... I mean, it's not quite the same form factor as Pocky, because those are like a stick with a coating. And these are a stick with a coating. But it is a little bit different shape. It smells very minty.
The coating's on the inside, whereas Pocky, it's on the outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very long and thin. Straw shaped, chocolate on the outside, I guess, yeah, it's cocoa, I guess, on the outside. And the mint is like a very ultra alien bright blue, tealish flavor or color.
They had a couple different flavors in the store, but I specifically picked out the mint for you guys.
Thank you. I'm happy you did. Spoiler.
So it almost has the like reminder. It reminds you a bit of like eating a Thin Mint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that it has like a cookie-ish kind of the chocolate biscuit on the outside is cookie-ish.
You remind me a lot of those. You guys remember those grasshoppers? It was like an Oreo, but it was mint inside. It reminds me
those are pretty good. Yeah, I don't love the biscuit. I feel like I almost think that if it was chocolate instead, that it would be better. Right ahead, it would taste like a pretty good, like an Andes mint type of thing. So the biscuit isn't great. The mint inside is tasty. I feel like it's like the right level of mint. It's not too over the top pepperminty, and it's not like overwhelming my taste buds. It's a really tough one for me. They're not quite as good as I'd hoped they would be, but they're still decent. I think I'm actually gonna give these a low level like that, but I really was torn between indifferent and like. They're not, and they're not bad, but I can't give them an overwhelming recommendation. Geiger?
So I've eaten about half the box already.
Wow.
I love mint and chocolate. I agree with Novak that it's really not chocolate. Like the cracker or the biscuit is almost just a placeholder for the mint filling. And if it actually tasted like chocolate, it would be better. Having said that, I like the crunch to it. Like, it's not a bad crunch. I love the mint taste. I love those grasshopper cookies and Thin Mints. So this is like evoking a lot of stuff I like already. It is funny. I was looking at the back of the box, and Novak, you mentioned how the goo is like blue, and it says Blue 1 Lake color. It was added near the bottom there, so I'm assuming that's the food diet. But
lake color.
Yeah,
this looks like no lake I've ever seen.
No. If this is your lake, just don't swim there. This is the kind of lake that produces 50-pound lobsters. Which don't live in lakes. So I'm actually torn on the higher end. I will just stop at a high level like that because the chocolate isn't quite good. But if this was like a good chocolate thing, I would love these. As it stands, I'll eat this whole box.
All right. So they're going to get the win no matter what. But Chad, this is not the sort of thing that you'd probably agree with us on. What do you think?
I wish there was. I wish and thought there was going to be more chocolate flavor, which I think you guys said, like, you barely get any chocolate there. I think that would actually really elevate it quite a bit because here, it's no secret I'm famously not a fan of mint flavored stuff. But here the mint is pretty subtle, I think, compared to some other things we've eaten. And that's to me, that's when I don't mind the mint as much. Like, it's honestly like a little refreshing. I feel like you could just eat these instead of brushing your teeth, and you're probably good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the taste of the wafer is actually my least favorite part of it. But it's that same kind of like thing with like Pocky, right? Where like Pocky, it's like the wafer is like kind of shit, and like then it's just whether or not you like the coating or not, So I will stick with an indifferent to that for these. It's kind of a low level indifferent to that, but they are better than I thought they were going to be.
All right. Pretty good score there for the mint cream-filled biscuit. And is the easy winner today of the three snacks. So, Geiger, where can the listeners contact us?
If you're Gary Busey, be careful. If you are that dude with all that porn that you convinced your wife is just magically appearing, nice work, my man.
Gotta get to the bottom of this. No, let it keep coming through. The more he sends, the closer we get.
Maybe he'll sign the last one.
We've almost got his identity. Let's get 10 more pages of titties printed out first.
There seems to be a pattern. Yes, lots of tits and blowjobs. If you...
I'm also imagining his printers. It's not like, an office printer. It's like they're going like one line at a time.
Like a dot matrix printer. It's like an ASCII picture of a girl like having a hand job or something.
2 people just sitting around. It takes 10 minutes for one page to print out, like, and then finally like, oh, yep, it's another ass.
Might be his face this time. I bet he's gonna slip up soon.
So yeah, if you want to tell us what you think of our snacks that we tried today, suggest new snacks that we should try, ask a question for a mailbag, anything like that, you can reach us at youtrydat@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, #YouTriedThat. We're on Facebook with the You Tried Dat group. We're also on YouTube and Instagram. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Leave reviews, leave likes. And as always, if you do enjoy it, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your children as you're putting back a few cold ones with them. And as always, thank you for listening.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week, but we'll be back next week. Try it 3.
Yes.
Yep.